Yes, he talked about bringing jobs back, manufacturing back, et cetera. But what's he actually going to do? A $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest people in the world, for corporate executives. The reason why they're doing all these Doge cuts in a panicked, chaotic way is so they can say, oh, no, it's okay. The Doge cuts will cover the $4.5 trillion. Oh, it's okay. The gold card and the tariffs will cover the $4.5 trillion. When that's utter nonsense.
CENK Uygur made his way back to the Piers Morgan show. No matter how you feel about CENK, he always shows out when it comes to Piers Morgan show. He's probably better on this show than his own show. And it's mainly because he's able to counteract all of Piers Morgan's nonsense. And in this case, in regards to Doge and the tariffs. But this was before the tariffs kicked in, crashed the market, and then eventually Elon leaving recently. But CENK makes a great point on how Trump was a Trojan horse for corporate takeover in regards to Musk and Palantir. So let's watch this clip and we'll talk about it throughout.
I just think when people look at Trump and think he doesn't know what he's doing, as you said, it's all chaos, blah, blah. I honestly don't believe that is the case. He's got some very smart people around him, not least Elon Musk. And whatever people think of Musk, when they say he's stupid, they're the stupid ones. He's one of the most brilliant minds in America. Now, he's a little odd, there's no question. By his own admission, he's a bit autistic. He doesn't behave in the way that we might normally expect our political leaders to behave, and he kind of is a political leader in a way. But what he's doing with Doge, for example, I imagine that resonates very well with most Americans if they keep finding clear evidence of waste.
Yeah, well, so the idea of finding waste, fraud, and abuse has been popular forever and ever. And in fact, Al Gore actually did a pretty good job in finding a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse during the Clinton administration. They cleaned it out, and Clinton was the last president to balance the budget. So there is waste, fraud, and abuse there. The place you would start is subsidies. There's like $30 billion in oil subsidies. It's just nothing but a robbery. I can show you robbery after robbery. Corporations pay money to politicians, and they get subsidies out. I despise it. So if that's what they did, they would be intensely popular. But what did he do instead? Oh, I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of people that came in last. I'm going to fire a whole bunch of people without even looking. And then that made it really unpopular. They've somehow found a way to make fighting fraud, waste, and abuse unpopular. It's now at 37% and dropping in terms of Doge's popularity. So there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. I mean, you can make excuses about autistic, et cetera, but I need a brother who can think through a plan. Both Musk and Trump are like, I'll just throw it up against the wall and see what sticks. That one stuck.
Is Elon Musk, is he underestimating the difference between, or misunderstanding the difference between the business world, in which he's been all-conquering, and the political world? In other words, some things may make completely logical business sense, but from a political standpoint, if you start to see the polls massively responding negatively, Trump's a politician now. He's not going to let that slide for very long.
Yeah, that's why he reined him in.
Calling Elon Musk all-conquering in the quote-unquote business realm is kind of crazy when all of his business success has come from direct subsidies from governments. Tesla, SpaceX, Solar City, the Boring Company, everything that he can claim as success is because we pay for it. If he doesn't get government contracts, none of those businesses are profitable and they'll all crumble under their own weight. So regarding him as all-conquering as a business titan is super misleading, if not straight up a lie, especially when he came into the government and wants to cut everything besides subsidies for his own companies and others. If they're so profitable and they're so amazingly talented in business, why do the richest people with the biggest corporations and supposedly the most profitable need socialism to support them, but rugged capitalism for all of us?
Yeah, that's why he reined him in. So that's why I say he does A/B testing. He tries one thing. If it doesn't work, he goes to the next thing. And by the way, that is, to be fair to your point of view, that is a bit of a plan.
Yeah.
It's a plan to say, well, look, I don't really know what's going to work, but I'll try this. And if it doesn't work, I'll retract.
Well, what I think he's doing, Winston, I think he's trying to force action to be taken to resolve things that have been unresolvable, right? The Ukraine war. You know, I spoke to him a couple of weeks before he got inaugurated, and he was telling me that the Pentagon has said 100,000 people had died on the battlefield in the previous 6 weeks. 100,000. Oh, it's on both sides, right? He said it was based like a World War I killing field, with flat fields, and they're just killing each other all day long. He said it has to stop. Now, you know, did he have the one-day fix? Of course, he didn't. No, I don't think anyone thought he did. Has what he's done since hastened a potential settlement? I would argue it has. He's got Zelensky to agree to the parameters of a peace arrangement. He's got to persuade Putin. That's the big test. We'll see if Putin goes along with it or what Trump does to Putin to make him go along with it. But I do see method there to what he's doing. Same with Israel. We're going to come to the Israel-Gaza situation a little later. But I do see, like the tariffs. He's always been on about tariffs, Trump.
Tariffs is his favourite word.
I've known Trump 20 years. He's always had a bee in his bonnet about tariffs and about other countries ripping America off. And so he's saying, right, if you're going to do this to us, we're going to whack you. And they're all blinking, by the way, these countries.
Yeah, I mean, I just would like to talk about tariffs because I think that's really important. As we're talking, a lot of what's happening in the stock exchange is because of his tariffs. Now, why this is really important is because he managed to appeal to working people in America, the forgotten, the Rust Belt, the flyover state people whose industries were gutted. I think we might have some agreement on this. These were left behind Americans. And they were left behind by globalism, by free trade across the world. They were the ones who suffered.
Indisputably.
Now, his ideas with tariffs, whether or not he can pull them off, none of us can know whether or not it will. But the idea is to bring back, to onshore those industries, encourage manufacturing. I would note Elon Musk has said he's going to double Tesla productions, increase manufacturing in America. This is done specifically for the working people of America. It's a reason why the unions, or at least uneducated unions...
He's a working class hero, Cenk.
No, nonsense. So look, here's the thing. Is he running as a populist? Yes, he ran as a populist. Yes, he talked about bringing jobs back, manufacturing back, etc. But what's he actually going to do? A $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest people in the world, for corporate executives. The reason why they're doing all these Doge cuts in a panicked, chaotic way is so they can say, oh, no, it's okay. The Doge cuts will cover the $4.5 trillion. Oh, it's okay. The gold card and the tariffs will cover the $4.5 trillion. When that's utter nonsense. You know it's not going to cover the $4.5 trillion. It's a giant giveaway. Look, he's a bit of a Trojan horse for corporate rule. So he rolls in as a populist, he opens up the hatch, and then next thing you know, Elon Musk and all the tech bros come out of the horse and go, give us giant tax cuts. Give us deregulation. Fire everyone at the SEC. Fire all the inspector generals. Why? Because we're going to rob the place blind. And then we'll give me a crypto reserve filled with junk. That makes no sense at all. So trillions of dollars in robbery headed in our direction. And who's it going to help? The average American? No, it's going to rob the average American to help corporate executives. So let's be honest about what's happening.
When Cenk get in this bag, he's really one of the best political speakers we have in the country. Everything he said is undeniable. The big, beautiful bill, or whatever it's called, is just a corporate giveaway and also has wording in there that says no state can regulate AI for 10 years. Who does that benefit? Only the corporations that control all of that data. That's what Elon Musk was doing in the government, injecting his own companies inside the government. Not even the Congress people who supported and voted for the bill agree with that. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene has something to say.
Congresswoman, you say in full transparency you didn't know that this was in there, and now you're shining a light on it. How did you not know that it was in there, and how'd you find out about it?
Well, we don't get the full bill text until very close to the time to vote for it. And so that was one section, that was 2 pages that I didn't see. And I'm being very transparent and honest about it with everyone. But
obviously, when Cenk doesn't talk about these types of issues, he can go off the deep end and we could all find ourselves disagreeing with him. But in this topic, in this discussion, Piers Morgan and the other guy, no disrespect to him, are giving all of the benefit of the doubt. And I don't believe any politician deserves benefit of the doubt, especially not ones whose whole cabinets are filled with billionaires. There are no good billionaires. And if you've made it this far into the video, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section. Like and subscribe because you clearly like it here. Peace.